Welcome back to another episode of... Today's episode is about Mech Knights. Has it been long enough to talk about Mech Knights? Probably? It's fine. But before we talk about our column-loving Ibly haters, we first need to talk about a skill. A skill belonging to... not you again. As the saying goes, if there was ever a stupid idiot skill, it was probably on Taya. Today's stupid idiot skill is called Surprise Present. Now, if you've been playing this game for a while and you hear the words Surprise Present, you probably get some unpleasant memories. Maybe not so much, oh no, game breaking, but more like, God damn it. For those who have never seen this skill before, this was a Taya skill that wasn't so much as broken as it was really dumb. Surprise Present lets you gift your opponent one of your back row cards. Why on earth would anyone want to gift their enemy a free card? I don't even gift my friends free cards. Well, that's because some of the cards in this game are really bad. Like, use them and you lose the game bad. So, similarly to gifting your spouse divorce papers, you try to send them a gift that's gonna ruin their life. One of these awful gifts was the legendary Localized Tornado, which you may remember from the One Card Wonder video. Localized Tornado shuffles all the cards in your hand and graveyard back to the deck. Now, as a recycle tool in the stall deck, this is actually not half bad. But using this turn 1 with a full hand and an empty field is pretty much an instant scoop, making it the perfect target to Secret Santa to your opponent. Okay guys, I have a confession to make. I fell for this at least once when I first started the game. That's right, somebody sent me a back row, I had the option to activate it, and I was like, what the heck? And just like you'd expect, all my cards returned to my deck. Bye-bye. And I just sat there stun-locked, feeling like the biggest idiot in the world. It happens to all of us. Now, as you may have noticed, this skill has one main flaw. Your opponent has to activate the card. We currently don't have Bait Doll in this game, so if your opponent had any number of brain cells, they could just, not click the fucking mystery card that got placed on their field. So all in all, you go -1, your opponent just doesn't activate it, the skill was bad. And surely that would be the end of it, right? Mech Knights are a bunch of galactic guardians, and if they had a catchphrase, it would be, "We have you surrounded! Step away from the chalice!" Like most archetypes, the Mech Knights all have one shared effect. Each Mech Knight can be summoned once per turn into a column that has 2 or more cards in it, turning our humble game of Yu-Gi-Oh! Into every Bootstrap webpage ever. Now, you might see a problem here. While a Mech Knight player can add 1 card into a column themselves in their spell and trap zone, the second card needs to either be in the extra monster zone or their opponent's field, which they can't control. You might be starting to see where this is going, but it's even worse than you think. Let's talk about some of the individual mechs. The Mech Knights are on the spectrum. The color spectrum. Like a bag of Skittles, the Mech Knights are each related to a color of the rainbow, each color having its own unique effect. And just like the rainbow, some colors are better than others. Mech Knight Purple Rain, Purple Nightfall, serves as both a disruption evader and a searcher. His effect allowing you to quick effect tag out any Mech Knight on the field to add another one to your hand. And who would you search, if not Mech Knight Blue Sky Adventures? Blue Sky has a unique effect that lets you add Mech Knights to your hand, depending on how many of your opponent's cards are in the column that it was summoned to. If your opponent had 1 card in that column, you could search 1 Mech Knight. If your opponent had 2 cards in that column, you could search 2 Mech Knights. This effect was so powerful that it traumatized an entire generation of Duel Links players into turning on manual 2 card placement in their settings, and just kinda spreading their cards around, just to stop their opponents from going +2, summoning Morningstar, searching secrets, and mech-locking them almost every game.
Right to jail.
Well, no matter where you put your cards, it didn't matter if your opponent could just Surprise Present one over to you. Yeah, that's right. Mech Knight players use Surprise Present to not only guarantee a column and search on their first turn, but also to guarantee a +2 with Blue Sky Studios on their second turn. And to make matters worse, skills are completely unrespondable. So once they put the card there, there was nothing you could do until Blue Sky's effect had already gone off. Now, there was one downside. Mech Knights don't have the space to run 3 copies of a bad trap like Localized Tornado. After all, even if you send 1 over, that's still 2 dead cards for yourself. So unfortunately, you would assume they would have to hand over one of their good back rows in exchange for the ability to summon, right? Now, some of y'all may have watched my Psy Reflector video, so you already know where I'm going with this. You can watch it if not. But there exists an engine in Duel Links that allows you to trade your normal summon for both a Synchro monster on field and a trap card in hand. That's right. Mech Knight players started using the Psy Reflector engine. This engine had 3 perfect synergies with the deck. First of all, Mech Knights rely mostly on their special summoning effects, and don't get much off of their enthusiastic normal summon. Check this out! So, almost nothing has to be sacrificed to add in the Psy Reflector engine. Secondly, the Psy Reflector engine guarantees an EMZ monster, which gives you one of the 2 cards you need to summon in a column. And thirdly, is that even a word? Thirdly, the Psy Reflector combo adds the trap card Assault Mode Activate to your hand, which is a perfect gift to give to your opponent. This card is bad enough in Assault Mode decks, where it belongs. So in a non-Assault Mode deck, it is literally unusable. So altogether now, we've got a naturally good deck, a super consistent engine, and a degenerate skill to synergize with both. How do you think the deck did? This deck was amazing, though partly because Mech Knights were just pretty good by themselves. For like 3 straight months, this deck, along with the other Mech Knight decks, were blasting through the meta. I'm talking COG decks, KC Cup top 100s, tournament wins, top 8s, top 4s, first place. In fact, this version of the deck was so good for such a stupid reason that it didn't even get that much hate. People were just making memes about it. The only thing that really stopped this deck from being even more broken was salads were a thing, and every other Mech Knight version was also good. So what did Konami do? Well, for starters, in January 2023, Konami decided no more Secret Santa minigame, and they nerfed the skill so you could no longer use it until turn 3. That alone was enough to single-handedly kill this version of the deck. Mech Knights themselves would also be nerfed with Blue Sky hit to 2 the following month. And Psy Reflector? Well, he was given the hit of... Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, that's right. Oh, Psy Reflector will never be hit because he's the king and he's eternal. So, what did we learn today? We learned, again, that some skills comboed with some deck mechanics are just really degenerate. Like, can you imagine Chainburn Labyrinth? Those could be disasters. Or not. On one hand, it's part of the fun of Duel Links. But on the other hand, what the hell? We also learned that Konami should use Taya to QA test every deck they plan to release. Luckily for Konami, we're running out of usable skills on her. But I'm sure another deck will one day come around that our favorite gardener will Taya a pot. Thank you guys for watching. Leave your suggestions in the comments. If you're new here, there's a bunch of these Duel Links degenerate videos in a playlist, but be warned, the quality goes down as you go back in time. See ya!